say there is a chance that we can make it so far. We stop believing now we can be who we are. Greece is the word that you heard. It's got groove, it's got meaning.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tuesday Live with Kim. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. I always enjoy being here with my Tuesday night crew. So, this whole entire month has been about safety and keeping drivers safe. And, my hopes is that by doing this, old drivers and even new drivers, whether it's food delivery, rideshare delivery, will understand also the awareness and what it means to this community and how I'm really trying to keep as many drivers safe as I possibly can. So I have spoken about, a role that we have every single day in the gig economy and also when we're out there. And when it comes to slips and falls and accidents and, of course, deactivations, what can help us as drivers and what do we actually do if this ever happens to us, right? I have partnered with companies and I'll say friends at this point that I believe in and have used in the fight against all of these issues. And what I'm going to talk about tonight, I want to talk about dash cams and how it really keeps us safe as drivers, because I think this is actually really super important. And I actually have someone tonight who is very well versed and I'll call an expert in this field of dash cams. So tonight, I'm going to welcome Abdul Kasim. How are you, my friend?
I'm fine. Thank you, Kim.
So, those of you who don't know who Abdul is, he is the CEO of Displayride. So, before we even get started and really get into Displayride, I want to tell everybody that getting your questions, first of all, and I'm sure we will try to get to as many questions as we possibly can tonight about the Displayride, any questions they have about the dash cam. And even afterwards, if you go away from this or you're watching the replay and you think of a question, you can always email me. You can get me on any social media, TikTok, Instagram, message me, and I will try to either answer them for Abdul or I will send them over to your team and hopefully get them answered. So I just wanted to point that out before we get started tonight. So Abdul, how are you? And talk about your company.
Sure. Thank you, first of all, for the opportunity, Kim. Great to be here. Well, at Displayride, we started the company actually to focus on rideshare, because we were aware personal experiences and also experiences of friends. Um, Unfortunately, safety is the issue in rideshare. It can be any number of things, anything from you know uh, issues between the driver, passenger. A lot of case, unfortunately, a disproportionate amount of time, there have been a lot of false complaints. In fact, just yesterday I was looking at, or this morning I was looking at I think a event that happened in New York City where a passenger just, I don't know, it was truly crazy. She just attacked the driver, and she pepper sprayed him. It's on YouTube. It was on CBS last night. So, and of course, the driver reacted and so on and so forth. But she was, I mean, just crazy, I think. I mean, there was no reason because the driver was just driving. And so, anyway, the point of this was, and she was very well spoken and so on and so forth. Imagine she could have gone and lied to someone that the driver did something and so on and so forth. But fortunately for the driver, he had a dash cam. Everything was captured, and it pretty much saved him. And of course, the true culprit was known. So this kind of highlights the kind of issues that we face, especially around false complaints against drivers, and they're being deactivated, right? So we created a company precisely for that. We know there are a lot of dash cams in the market and so on, but what we tried doing, Kim, was we didn't want to just be yet another dash cam company. We built a solution to address the problems, like deactivation support, for example, or deterrence or documenting everything. So we took the use cases of things that actually happen with rideshare, in rideshare and delivery, and incorporated that in our solution. We do have, of course, a dash cam component which will capture both inside, outside, and it actually records everything and automatically uploads onto the cloud. So it's very simple and so on and so forth. So we have a lot of features built around rideshare and delivery, around the gig economy. But primarily, that's been our focus. We've continued to refine it. We have thousands of drivers across the country using it today, and a lot of them are extremely happy because we have saved them a ton of grief, especially around false complaints and things of that nature.
Yeah. So I have some rideshare people in here, but I also have a lot of food delivery because my channel is more about DoorDash and Uber Eats and all the food delivery. And now even about, catering apps like, I've had a dash cam even prior to the one that from Displayride. I've had Displayride for probably over a year now, maybe 2 years now. I can't even remember when I actually got this, but I never thought I needed it until I needed it, if that makes any sense. Like, I looked at it as it was an investment into my safety, especially for me going out and driving at nighttime, because that's when I do a lot of my delivery, because that's what fits in my schedule. So, I think a lot of delivery drivers, at least in my opinion, worry more about deactivations. Like, how does the dash cam kind of correlate with deactivations from like food delivery and regular delivery standpoint? Because I think that's important.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are the only one which provides some. We even have a notion of deactivation. I mean, other dash cams are just tools which record. So in our case, Kim, what we do is we actually record and document all the information, right? So what happens is, in case of deactivation, the driver will be able to essentially, by just one touch on their portal, can access recordings from the last 15 days, right? So we immediately send that to the driver and to a third party if they so desire, require us to, right? Like a legal support or anybody. But anyway, that information is sent to the driver, and the driver can then forward it immediately. Just email it to Uber or Lyft or DoorDash or whoever it is, right? So the idea is we made it very simple, and it is very credible, because one of the important things is, unlike other dash cams where you have to download a video and you have the opportunity to manipulate it and so on and so forth. In our case, right, the video and audio recording is automatically uploaded to the cloud, and it's encrypted and so on and so forth. So there is no way anybody can manipulate it. So the point being that when you request support for deactivation, you actually get a very credible, it comes with authority. Hey, this is exactly what happened. So when we send that, right, we send this all the videos from the last, by the way, during deactivation, as obviously everybody knows, they never tell you what was the reason for deactivation. They're generally vague. They don't specify what time, date, and so on and so forth. So you're kind of in the dark, quite literally. And so what we do is we just say, hey, here's all the information. Here's actual recordings of everything. I don't believe I did anything wrong. Please take a look, right? So Uber or Lyft or DoorDash or whoever takes a look, and that's very credible information, right? So remember, the reason Uber and Lyft and all these guys, first of all, deactivate is for liability reasons. Because let's say they got a complaint and they ignored it, then if something happens subsequently, they are held at they have to pay a lot of money, probably will be hauled to court and things like that. So there's a huge liability. So that's why they say, hey, until we figure out what happened, you're off the platform. That's their kind of thinking. So and unfortunately, the way that works is, the drivers are essentially completely in the dark, like I said, and also they are helpless. They don't know what to do, because you're telling me, hey, you did something wrong, but not tell me what exactly did I do wrong, or when did I do something wrong, allegedly do something wrong. So with our solution, right, we just send the whole thing here, say, here, look, I don't believe anything is. So we are trying to empower the driver, because now the driver has the control. Say, here, I don't believe I've done anything right. Please take a look and send it. And I would say 9 out of 10 times, right, with Uber and Lyft and all these guys, a lot of the time they just review it, so they're comfortable also that nothing actually transpired. and it was, false allegation for a variety of reasons, they reactivate the driver. So it's a win-win solution for everybody, you see. And they bring you, and you're back on the platform quickly and things like that. So that's a very important element for us. And in order to do all these kind of things, it's very simple. Our product, our solution, we don't even have an app to download. You just press the button on the device, it just sends you a link. You press that, and you can just say, "Hey, I need deactivation support." You're done. So we try to simplify it, not technical, but we give you all the credible information that's required.
That's awesome. So how, like, you might not know this, and so I'm probably going to put you on the spot for this, but how, like, do you know the success rate of people like who have actually got deactivated and got back on because they've used Displayride?
Well, we have not done a formal like a calculation because we try not to probe too much into the
Right.
driver's thing, right? For privacy reasons and so on. But I can tell you, we've get so many thank you notes from drivers because they're back on because for a lot of the drivers they're doing it full time, or at least this is a important source of income for them. So being deplatformed, apart from the fact that it is a source of income, being alleged that you did something wrong is not a it'll cause sort of an emotional turmoil. Hey, what did I do wrong? I don't believe I've done. You're not, you're tense, you're emotionally affected, and all these things. So it's a really a bad situation. So getting them back on quickly is really good. And also it also saves Uber and Lyft a lot, and all these other guys a lot of pain, right? Because they have credible source, they can look at it, and also they can do it quickly, as opposed to investigating, taking weeks otherwise, and so on and so forth. So we know that when I said 90% of the guys, we hear back from them, because they said, "Hey, we're back on," and things like that, right? So because they start using the dash cam, and by the way, our dash cam is connected. So if you want, we can actually. Uh, so it's online all the time. So unlike most dash cams, it's cloud connected. So
That's
that's
awesome.
an important element. Yeah.
Okay, so a couple questions so far. Who can ask for video proof? I'm assuming the driver, correct?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. We do not share any the videos with anyone because that's especially private, right? So it's private information. So only the driver can ask. Of course, the only sort of case where I mean, if somebody has a subpoena or something like that, but we do not share it with anybody. It's only the driver. In fact, we do not look at it ourselves unless the driver, sometimes the driver is hurt. We also have accidents and things, a lot of things like this, right? So the driver is affected and stuff like that and ask for help. So we kind of help them sometimes, but we do not, as a policy, we only the driver owns the data. So
That's funny because when I first started using Displayride, like I'm a singer in the car, right? So like I have my music blasting, I have my AirPods going on, I'm like rocking out to the music, and I'm like, oh, okay, so hi everyone. But then I was, obviously through the years talking to you, I'm like, okay, no one can see that I'm good. I can go back to like belting out my music. I'm good.
yeah, yeah, exactly. We don't see it, of course, but by the point, one important point came is we do also record the audio. Remember, so your voice is probably there if you want to ever feel like, hey, let me see how did I sing or whatever.
So I can like totally put it as an audition for being like
Yeah,
the next
yeah,
Taylor Swift.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Another question is how long does the cloud hold your info?
So we typically hold it for 15 days. Yeah, the thing is sometimes what happens also is, sometimes, we what we do also is at the end of every day, literally, right? We send a link, an email to all drivers. So the drivers, that link basically will have a video, what we call a video summary of all the rides they did that particular day. And it's just like a time lapse version. It's a quick scan through of all the rides you did with a timestamp and location stamp. And the reason we do that, Kim, is we see that sometimes there might be a kind of a strange interaction with a particular customer. You're kind of uneasy about it or whatever, or you just want to make sure for whatever reason, a variety of reasons, people want to see and say, hey, was that right? Was this customer rude? Whatever. Or maybe the customer was smoking, things like that, a number of reasons. So then what they can do is they can actually, they can say, oh, yeah, it was at 7 p.m. yesterday in Main Street or whatever. So because as the video goes through, you can see that, and you can see that obviously you can see the video time lapse version of the video. So you can just actually click that and request a what we call a full length audio and video of that particular time frame. And when you do, and that then immediately we send you a link to your phone and to your email, and you can store it obviously forever. But we also, whenever you do some request like that, we store it for a year as well, because we know, hey, this might be an important thing, right? That you may need it sometime, that kind of stuff.
That's actually really good, just based off of, like, there's sometimes where something might happen like 2 days ago, and you might not know about it from DoorDash or even any one of these companies in like 2 or 3 days later, and you're like, "What? I can't remember like 24 hours ago, never along 2 or 3 days ago." So, it's nice that you can also go back and figure out what exactly happened.
Right, and keep it for about a year, and you can of course download it and keep it forever. But again, we have it for a year in that case on the cloud.
Okay, so I got a lot. I think it was a couple weeks ago when we were talking. We got some questions about like iCloud versus, the card, and like what the differences are. Kind of, if you can, kind of go into why having the cloud is so much better than having an SD card.
Yeah, that's a great question, Kim. So our solution, by the way, we probably need to show our solution. This is our our dash cam solution, but of course there are many components to it. And let me actually show you one thing here. I'll just turn it on, which is basically means plugging into a cigarette lighter, and as you can see, it turns on. So you can see it literally, right? Just so you know, one of the big advantages of our product is you can self-install it in literally 1 minute, as you saw, just a couple of seconds, right? You just plug it in. Here, there's a sticker. You just peel it off, stick it onto your windshield, and you're ready to go. And you'll see the camera is already turned on, and it's starting. It has two cameras, front and back. It will start. You'll be able to see the actual camera visually as well. So, right, you saw the thing. So anyway, to your point, right, our camera, and you can see, yeah, you can see the cameras as well, right? So it's very simple. You see, I mean, I did it live here in front of you guys. It took literally 30 seconds or less, and that's exactly what it takes. So here's the thing. Our product has a SIM card, a wireless card in this, right? So what we do is, as soon as your device, by the way, this side is connected to a cigarette lighter, or you can connect to USB if you'd like, but typically a cigarette lighter is what we connect to. As soon as the car starts, it's powered on, it automatically starts recording. And as it records, it will upload directly to the cloud, right? And the information, as I noted, is stored in the cloud. And and whenever you want that information, you can actually, again, we do not require any app or anything like that. Every device is connected to the driver's phone, right? So if you want, for example, a specific video, or you want some help for any number of things, you just press this help button.
Please use the link sent to the phone or contact Displayride at 408-290.
You heard that, right? So
Yeah.
guess what happens? So that link is sent directly to a phone, basically to the driver's phone, and then you just connect. As you can see, I got a message here on my phone. Let me show you. So I just got a message on my phone. I hope it's visible. So you can see
Yep.
that, right?
Yep.
So that's it. So you just connect, and then I get it has a link, and when I just press that link, it'll take you to your portal. Only you can access this, nobody else. So you see, we made it very simple. You don't have to log in, anything, all those kind of things. See, again, you see the many things you can do. You can do help for deactivation. You need a specific video, audio, yeah, Mr. Rideshare audio. Oh, that's I'm sorry, I didn't realize. Yeah, so but basically that's how it works. Now, so all the data is stored on the cloud, and whenever you want it, like I said, you can basically go into your portal. It takes literally a few seconds, and you can get access to anything you want, any video you want, or you can, of course, you can do a ton of other things as well. Now, if you had an SD card, it would be so hard to do that, because you would have to pull it out, like from here, like, you'd have to pull out the SD card, put it into your computer. And by the way, that would require a special reader to connect to your computer. And then you have to understand the format of the video, and then try to navigate around it and get it. It'll take you, I think you're a pretty technical guy, it'll take you a few hours to figure that out. And I'm being very honest with you, right? And not only that, it's a complicated thing, you may not get it, and things like that. So in our case, you just request right on your phone, and you get what you want. So I mean, that's a massive difference, right? The other aspect also is, there are some use cases. Unfortunately, I was just listening to somebody in Chicago, right? There was this carjacking and things like that, wherever, right? When somebody jumped a car, and as soon as they see the dash cam, obviously the first thing they do is take it off and throw it or whatever, right? But in our thing, it's recording continuously and uploading automatically to the cloud. And by the way, you don't have to do anything; it's all done automatically. It's been uploaded to the cloud. So when it happened, the perpetrator's face and everything was already captured, and it's already in the cloud. So the cops could immediately see who it was. And of course, it also has GPS, so you could actually know exactly around whereabouts of where it was and things like that. So it's a lot of things, right? Like that, we have a lot of advantages against an SD card. I mean, I would urge somebody to try out using an SD card, and then you'll see all this thing. You'll appreciate what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay, so a couple more questions. Oops. Total 360 view, question mark?
No, we have a front camera and the back camera. So we have, front about nearly 160, about 160 field of view, like this. And the back also similarly, yeah. So there's probably, totally probably about 300 degrees or something like that. So a slight sliver, it may not capture, but, we have seen even cases where people come, slam the doors, things like that, right? Or people getting in the vehicle, things like that. It captures that pretty cleanly.
Just real quick, if your phone is lost, stolen, dead, Displayride can connect to 911.
Yeah, if you're, we can actually, we can, we can obviously we have many other ways of accessing and reaching out to you guys. I mean, in case there is a problem with the phone, you can always call us, and we'll send you a link on whatever other phone you have, or we have many ways of obviously there's a backup thing.
And how many different versions of the dash cam are there?
For the rideshare, we just have one, which we call Model T. This is the thing. This is the one we send to all our customers. It's called Model T. Yeah. Oh, the Kim has one too.
I took mine down purposely for this, so everybody can actually, I don't know if you can see, but it actually fits in. I have small hands, and it actually fits into my hand. That's actually how I think it's very sleek, and it's not big, it's not obtrusive, which I actually, now that my ring light is showing in it, but I just wanted everybody to kind of see the size of it, because I get questions all the time. Is it big? Is it bulky? No, to me, not at all. If it fits into my hand, to me, that's not big at all. And that's the front, and that's the back. Anyway, so I get a lot of questions, and there was a couple in the beginning, and I wanted to get into this, but I wanted us to get into talking first. So do you want to go over the rodeo code that we're using during this promotion, so that way people understand the value that they're getting out of choosing Displayride? Are you good with that?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
So we have a special. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, so guys, so basically we have a special promotion for viewers and followers of Kim and the Rideshare Rodeo. So you can use the promo code Rodeo on our website, and we give a pretty good discount. So we have basically two types of pay, two options to procure. One is with a lower initial payment, and so you pay $125 instead of $150, which is the norm, and you pay $20 a month or instead of $30 a month, right? So The only thing is, since we have to try to recoup some amount of the cost in this low initial payment option, we try to we have a 12-month contract with that, right? So the other thing with the other option you have is, you can pay a little higher amount in initial payment, which is $250, and again, that for the rodeo promo code, you're getting $50 off right up front, and instead of $20, you're paying $10 per month, and again, that's like a 50% off, right? So in addition to the web discount that we already offer, right? So yeah, it's pretty good. It includes everything. We do not charge separately for anything else. Everything is already included, including you have to understand that we capture tons of video and audio data, and that's very bandwidth intensive, and we upload it to the cloud. So just to give you an idea, you all have smartphones, and I think you pay like $50 or whatever, right? Typically, or maybe more. And our cameras upload maybe about, on an average, about 10 to 20 times more bandwidth than your phone does. So we obviously have to pay, but we have some strategic partnerships with all the wireless carriers, so we get a little break, and that's why we're able to offer this kind of stuff, right? So yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Everything comes with a 2-year warranty. Again, everything is included. Um, it's pretty straightforward. We try to keep it pretty simple. It's a pretty expensive camera, I might add. But again, our goal is always to get to as many rideshare drivers as, I mean, as you can see, our product is called, here you can see it, right? It's called the rideshare monitoring platform, right? I mean, clearly we built it for this community. And so we are trying to, we want as many as people as possible use it, right? Because we feel fundamentally nobody cares for the drivers, especially the TNCs, the whether the Uber lifts and DoorDash and stuff like that. Obviously, don't care too much about drivers. So we are on a mission to really look out. So we have a kind of a social mission as well. I mean, you can, by the way, look at comparable cameras with not all this functionality. I mean, no, I can challenge. There is no concept of deactivation or anything on any camera anywhere in the world. So we are the first who have done it, precisely because we are addressing the gig market. But again, we have been, the cost of cameras with much less features is much higher. You can, you can obviously all have access to internet. You can take a look. But yeah, can you have your portrait? Oh yeah, this is a great question from. Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things here is we also have, again, I'll show it to you. It's very simple, right? You have something here called Get Recording Now. Let me try to, I don't know if it's focused properly, but Get Recording Now. You see that?
Yeah.
You just press that, right? That addresses exactly that question. Again, when you press that,
A recording from the previous 10 minutes will be sent to the registered phone and email.
do you see what happened? So this is exactly the scenario where you press that, right? It will send the previous 10 minutes of video and audio right to your phone. So you know what exactly transpired, the accident or whatever, right? So hopefully, you'll get it in a minute or two or whatever, right? Maybe a few seconds it'll take. Sometimes it takes a few seconds, but obviously it's really helpful. And also it does one other thing. Apart from the fact that you have a link with a video and audio to show the cop or anything like that, another very important thing is we whenever you register for as a customer, we ask for an emergency contact, right, or contacts. So we actually, whenever you request like this get emergency video, it'll automatically send an alert, an SMS, a message to that your emergency contact, and they will get a link as well, and that link will allow them to see what exactly inside your vehicle, right?
That's amazing.
So yeah, that's will be live stream right inside, just in case you're hurt, you need help, whatever, right? I mean, it's a terrible situation, possibly. Obviously, that's why you know we are mindful of that, and we try to kind of allay, right? Let's say you want some whatever, like ambulance or whatever, right? So it's too important for us not to ignore that, so we provide that. And again, that all these things cost us a lot of money, and it takes a lot of sophisticated technology to do that. I mean, just press a link from anywhere, you can see exactly what's happening inside the vehicle. I mean, you hurt, whatever, right? Or maybe they just want to see you, make sure you're okay. There's a lot of reassurance, right? things like that. So we do a lot of these kind of things as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So before I get to Bubba Sue's question is the way and I want to just talk about pricing from my perspective. The way I look at it is like I look at my like the monthly fee as I pay for Netflix, I pay for Disney, I pay for Paramount, like I pay for subscriptions that I can entertain me while I'm at home. Like I feel like I am paying for subscription that's going to invest in my safety. That's the way that I look at it. But I feel like at this point, with how expensive everything is, like I feel like it's the price of a Big Mac meal at this point. Which is literally, I'm like, I think it what the if it's $20, what is it, 66 cents a day? What it kind of breaks down to. So the way I look at it is I invest in the safety of me as a driver. I wish we didn't have to worry about this stuff, but I would rather me have it and nothing happen than something happens and then I don't have it and I have nothing to protect myself.
Absolutely, I think you're right, Kim. It's an investment, and of course, I think it's tax deductible and things like that. Obviously, right? So
Yeah.
that's another thing. But clearly, I mean, truly, the kind of issues that people seem to face is really horrific. And I think like 66 cents or 33 cents, depending on which plan you take, is definitely worth it. One other thing, Kim, is whenever we start a camera, right? Um, Periodically it plays a message, an audio alert saying that this ride is being recorded for your safety. Now you can actually you can customize it. You can either shut it off or you can keep it 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Some of the rideshare drivers, especially in the nighttime and so on and so forth, they find it particularly useful because for two reasons, right? If the passenger is I mean, a regular passenger or whatever, right? Especially in the night times, whatever, they feel pretty comforted in the fact that they are being recorded. So that leads to a degree of reassurance and a better experience because you're recorded and stuff like that. And people who have bad intentions, you know, they're hopefully deterred, right? Because when you're being recorded, you tend to behave better. I mean, there's a lot of scientific data behind that. So that's
Okay,
another.
here's the next question. What happens if you're in a dead zone? Does it still capture everything?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yes, it does. Simple answer. Yeah, we capture everything that happens. Like I said, as soon as it's powered on, it keeps on recording. And if you're in a dead zone, um, there is memory inside the device itself, as well as a SD card inside the device. We have a memory card, so it automatically stores that. And as soon as the connection is reestablished, it will automatically upload it. Again, these are things that will be not visible to you. It will be all done in the background and stuff like that.
That's really cool. I think the technology in itself is cool. Like I kind of look at the technology and hybrid hybrid. I always think of everything like car related because right, we do delivery. Like I think about hybrid, like gas and electric. Your electric it runs out, it goes right to gas. So if you don't have service, it goes right to the SD card. So you kind of never lose anything captured at the time. I feel like with me it'd be like Murphy's Law, like the one time I needed it, like I something would happen, but that's not the case with the display ride. It is always capturing
Yeah.
something. Sorry, I'm reading Steve's right now. The difference between it legal register is you don't know when you'll need it, but you need display ride now. You can it can save you. It can definitely save you. I mean, God forbid. I hope no one ever
Yeah.
gets into an accident, right? I hope no one ever gets deactivated because a customer is a I was going to say a bad word. I won't. Is an idiot and decides to, lie and say their food wasn't being delivered. I wish that never happens to anybody, but the chances of something happening to a driver, unfortunately, is real. That's why, I think it's so important to keep talking about safety and companies like Displayride that are there to really help you as a driver. Oh wow. I feel like we covered a lot in such a short. So is there anything else that everybody needs to know about display riding?
I mean, I think we've covered most of it, Kim. I think fundamentally what we are trying to do, I think the key point we're trying to address is we understand the rideshare and the gig economy, delivery and others as well, right? So we understand exactly. We have actually uh, participated in that ourselves in terms of knowing exactly. So we know exactly where the pain points are. We have studied thousands of incidents, real life incidents, and so what we try doing is create a solution to address those kind of things, as opposed to having a tool like, oh, it does something, I can use that to potentially address this issue. We don't want the drivers, to worry about all these kind of things, right? What we try doing is keep it simple, like, hey, if you're ever in trouble, we kind of take care of you as much as we possibly can. It's like a one-stop shop for any kind of things. And the unfortunately, like you said, the reality is, you know um, it is we are required only when something goes wrong, obviously, right? That's when the value of it is really amplified. And we try to be there. We have all these features. We try to support, we, like I said, we are, I think, Steve mentioned about legal right share, so if even if you need legal help and stuff like that, you can just press a button on our on our portal and you can get access to that. So we do a lot of things to simplify and to make it easier for the driver, so because truly we really feel somebody has got to look out for them, and we try to do as much as we can. I mean, we try to be very reasonable in our pricing. Obviously we can't sell it at a loss, but I mean, all this you can see. I mean, we're not really. You can go and look up at a camera with similar features. You'll see it's maybe $400 $500 typically. You can look at anybody who's offering cloud connection, which are very few, by the way, and they don't do all the things that we do, and you'll see it costs about twice as much as what we do. So again, so we take pride in what we're doing, and again, we're doing it with a mission. So we are hopeful that our goal is to get every rideshare person to literally and delivery person to use it, really.
That's amazing. So, and I'm going to put you on the spot for half a second. And I have a lot of New Jersey drivers here tonight. We have a fellow Jerseyan in the house.
Yeah, our company is based in California. Just so you know, we're a Silicon Valley company. But yep, I'm based in the Garden State.
Well, Abdul, thank you so much. I won't take up, any more of your time, but I really appreciate you being here. And for anybody who wants more information, all of his information on Displayride and how to get it is in the description of this live. Go check it out. Make sure you use the code rodeo so that way you guys get the discount that we were talking about earlier on this live. And I feel passionate about it. I always say I wouldn't put my name behind something that I personally don't believe in, that I personally don't use, and I use it every single day. Um, so I think you have an amazing company, and I just hope that every driver, first of all, stays safe. But I'm with you. I feel as though that every driver does needs a dash cam. Just to you just don't know what crazy things are going to happen while you're out there.
Absolutely.
So
And
thank you.
delighted it was a great pleasure. And if anybody has any questions, of course, you can send it to Kim, Steve, or you can and they'll forward it to me, of course. We'd be more than happy to answer any questions. I mean, we also have a website, obviously, and all these things will be there. But we hope to see you as customers as well, a lot of your viewers.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I won't keep you any longer. Thank you so much. I'm going to close this out and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks,
Take care.
Abdul.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for being here. Hopefully, this was informative. Hopefully, you got some great value out of this. I always have a fantastic time talking to Abdul. I feel like he's so knowledgeable in everything that he talks about. Real quick, well, we're gonna talk about the week so far. I had a video drop today. If you haven't checked it out, of all the new DoorDash changes coming up. And tomorrow I'm going to be doing another Delivered. So I'm going to say real quick, if you guys haven't checked out Delivered, it's just another catering app. It's another app to add to your mix. And if you haven't checked them out, go do so. I think hopefully they would add some value also into the apps that you currently have. And I didn't realize this, guys, everybody who's on the Delivered app, make sure you go check out your portal. And if you haven't set it up, set it up. I double checked mine the other day just to make sure everything was set up. But they say that a lot of drivers haven't even set up their portal yet. So go set up your portal if you're already a Delivered driver. Okay, you guys, that is it. Thank you so much for being here. I will be back again next Tuesday. Don't forget to check out the video that just got released today. Don't forget to give this live a thumbs up, and I'll see everybody in the next video or the next live. Bye, everyone.